making a video.
What video?
It's what I watched over the summer.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hello friends. It has been quite a while since I actually sat down and filmed a video. I told myself that I would make a video like this every single month to talk about what I watched that month. And then summer happened and I started working a job that's more than full-time. I was working 12 hours a day. But that job is all done now, so I can finally sit down and make a video about what I watched this summer. I'm not gonna go over every single movie and show that I watched. I'll show some kind of rapid fire at the end. But I want to talk about the ones that really stuck with me the most, I guess. And an incredible start to that is Baby Reindeer. This is like a mini-series almost, and it genuinely is one of the most insane things I have ever seen in my life. It's about a struggling comedian named Donnie Dunn who meets this woman Martha at a restaurant. At the restaurant that he works at. I should clarify, not just any random restaurant. So they meet at the restaurant he works at, and they hit it off right away, and they have this odd little friendship going on, but I was gonna say slowly, pretty quickly actually, Martha begins stalking Donnie. This show is just there's no other word than insane to describe it. It's just so wild. There's not a single moment of filler or anything. It's just constantly going. Every single thing moves the story along. The writing, not just the dialogue, but just the writing for all of it is so incredible. I've truly never watched anything like this. I finished it and sobbed and was speechless, of course. And I go to do some research after watching it, like I do with basically everything I watch. And I found out not only was this a true story, but it was about the creator of the show, Richard Gadd. And that added a whole other level of oh my gosh. I think it's so important that a show like this exists. It just hit on so many important topics in such a great way. I loved it. It was incredible. I loved it. I binged a bunch of Rachel Sennett short films, little things that she's made and things that she's been in. I watched Appendage, Hollister, Double Date, and Wakey Wakey. And these were just all strange. They were very interesting. I think the last one was probably my favorite just because the coloring of it was so beautiful. It made no sense start to finish. I was so confused, but it just looked really pretty, so I liked it. At the very end of May, I started kind of living with my friend, and I did until mid-July because I work with her and it was easier just to carpool with her every day instead of trying to find a ride every day. So on my first night there, the people who were staying there watched Wish Dragon. In my review, I wrote, I feel like I just watched Aladdin, and I don't know if they did that on purpose or not. And that's truly all I have to say about it. It just seemed like Aladdin. That is the end of what I watched in May. I'll rapid fire some movies and reviews that I wrote about those movies, I guess. I didn't have a lot of time to watch stuff in June, or July for that matter, just because I was working and I didn't really have a lot of time at all. Most of the time I would just come home from working and turn on a movie I'd already seen while I was editing the pictures I took or whatever. So that explains a lot of the entries coming up. I rewatched Home. I love this movie. It makes me sob every single time I watch it, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I am a huge movie crier. You can turn on any movie and I promise you I will cry. I will find a place to cry during it. I watched Vivo. I don't know if I liked it. I feel like I would like it if I was less tired when I watched it, because I was absolutely exhausted and it just kind of made my head hurt. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's fine. I have nothing to say about this one. I just think my review of it was funny. All of our staff came together and watched Night at the Museum one night, and I could not tell you a single thing that happened because I was playing with the baby the whole time. But I logged it on Letterboxd anyways because I technically watched it. More rapid fire movies and reviews real quick because it's all just things I've seen before. I don't have any new things to say about them. July. The first movie I watched was Jigsaw. I actually watched that on the bus ride up to summer camp. I was riding the bus next to my friend Ruby, and she's like, have you ever seen Jigsaw? I was like, yeah. She's like, do you want to watch it again? I said, sure. We watched it all the way up there. I also watched Identity Theft. I hate to say it, but I found it was really funny. I don't know why I hate to say it. I just saw the cover of the movie and I read the little description and I was like, this is not gonna be funny. But I was giggling. I was goofing. It was funny. Okay, these last two, I just checked my little list over here of movies that I watched. I'm very excited to talk about these. I am a huge documentary fan. I will watch any documentary about anything. I love learning about things through videos and through movies. So I watched Tell Them You Love Me, and this was crazy. It's definitely more of a disturbing watch, I guess. Basically, it's about this woman named Anna. I don't remember if it was Anna or Anna. I'm just gonna keep saying Anna. And this man named Derek who had cerebral I can't, oh my gosh, this is genuinely my third take saying that. Cerebral palsy. It's not even that hard of a word to say, I just can't say it. Who, according to Anna, were like totally in love. And there was a whole court case about it, and come to find out, they were not. Anna was just taking advantage of Derek the entire time. So it's definitely a very hard watch, but I feel like the storytelling aspect of it all was so well done. It started off with Anna like telling her side of the story, and like it seemed like they were in love. Like it seemed like this basically picture perfect romance, this like beautiful relationship, but then we start getting other people's points of views where they're like, there's no way. Like something here is off. I just thought it was so genius to start it off with us believing Anna in a sense. Like we got her side of the story and what she thought happened, and we slowly see it all unravel to learn that that just wasn't true at all. Anyways, this was an incredible watch. It's a lot to take in, but I actually totally recommend it if you're into documentaries and stuff, especially like true crime case documentaries. My only like takeaway, I guess, is I wish it was a docu-series instead of just a documentary, because I absolutely would sit down and watch 5 like hour-long episodes of this. I'm so excited to talk about this one. I hate that it was like the last one on the list because I've been wanting to talk about it for so long. I watched Amadeus. Oh, this movie is so good. Like I've thought about it every single day since I watched it. It's about Mozart, obviously, but from the perspective of Antonio Salieri. Is that how you say his name?
Antonio Salieri.
Salieri? What did I say? Antonio Salieri? Salieri. I might not have said that. Anyways, they were both very well-known composers at the time, but obviously you probably only recognize one of those names, and it was probably Mozart. So there was a lot of jealousy seen in this movie. First of all, the hair and the makeup and the costuming and just the sets. Obviously, it's gonna be insane and so good in any period piece, but this was on a whole different level. Like, truly, I can't. What was the budget for this? 18 million. I mean, I just need to stick in some pictures of like this amazing costuming and set design and all of it. And I feel like this was a given considering the movie was all about music, but the music choice and placement in this was so perfect. Like there'd be a really intense, almost suspenseful moment and the music would like swell and I'd be like holding my breath. I don't even have words. It was so incredible. I do have to say, as a theater kid, I'm very sorry, I do have to say, this reminded me so much of Hamilton. Like both Hamilton and Mozart like lived and breathed their work and like they would die for it and they did. But of course, because they worked so hard and they were so successful, you know, they got some haters like Antonio and Burr. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. There are a couple quotes I want to take directly from the movie and from my review that I like can't think of how to phrase differently. First of all, I said, people will literally die for their art, and this is the perfect example of that. He put his life and heart and soul into his work, and clearly so did everyone else who worked on this movie. It was just so inspiring to see somebody work that hard for their art. And then there's a quote from Salieri in it. This was talking about a piece that Mozart had just composed, and he said, "This was a music I'd never heard, filled with such longing, such unfulfillable longing, it had me trembling." And I said, that's exactly how I feel about this movie. Hopefully, for the month of August, it'll have its own video and I won't forget and I'll actually be able to talk about the movies I watched in August instead of stacking them on with other months. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a fun time watching this video. I had a great time making it and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!